Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel for our sleep lecture series. Tonight, we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us, the creeping darkness of sleep deprivation. It sounds dramatic, but the effects are very real. How many of you have found yourselves staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., your mind racing, even though you're completely exhausted? You're not alone. In our fast-paced world, quality sleep often feels like a luxury, not a necessity. We sacrifice it for work, for social life, for one more episode of our favorite show. But this trade-off comes at a steep cost. Chronic sleep loss doesn't just make you tired. It quietly chips away at your physical health, your mental clarity, and your emotional well-being. It's like a slow leak in your energy reserves, draining you day by day. So, what exactly is happening to our bodies and brains when we don't get enough sleep? Let's pull back the curtain on this creeping darkness and understand why prioritizing sleep is one of the most powerful things you can do for your health. First, let's talk about the brain. Think of your brain like a bustling city. During the day, it's alive with activity, thoughts, decisions, learning, and emotions. All this activity creates metabolic byproducts, essentially brain trash. When you sleep, particularly during the deep sleep stages, a remarkable process kicks in. It's called the glymphatic system, which acts like the city's overnight cleaning crew. It flushes out these toxins, including proteins like beta amyloid, which is famously linked to Alzheimer's disease. When you skimp on sleep, this cleaning crew can't finish its job. The trash starts to pile up. This is why, after a poor night's sleep, you feel foggy, forgetful, and irritable. Your ability to focus, solve problems, and regulate your emotions takes a major hit. It's not just a feeling of tiredness. Your cognitive machinery is literally clogged. This accumulation of waste products over the long term is a serious concern, potentially increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases later in life. So when you sleep, you're not just resting. You're actively cleaning and maintaining your brain. Beyond brain fog, a lack of sleep throws your entire hormonal system into disarray. Let's look at two key players, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is the go hormone. It tells your brain you're hungry. Leptin is the stop hormone. It signals that you're full. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more ghrelin and less leptin. The result? You feel hungrier, and your cravings for high-calorie, sugary, and fatty foods skyrocket. Your brain's reward centers become more active, making that donut look irresistible, while the part of your brain responsible for self-control is weakened. It's a double whammy for weight gain. Your body is essentially tricked into thinking it needs more fuel to stay awake. This hormonal imbalance is a major reason why chronic sleep loss is strongly linked to obesity and type 2 diabetes. It's not a lack of willpower, it's your biology working against you. Getting adequate sleep is a fundamental step in managing a healthy appetite and weight. And it doesn't stop there. Your immune system is another major victim of sleep deprivation. While you sleep, your immune system produces protective proteins called cytokines. Some of these cytokines are crucial for fighting off infections and inflammation. When you don't get enough sleep, your body can't produce enough of these essential fighters. This leaves you more vulnerable to getting sick after being exposed to a virus, like the common cold. It can also prolong your recovery time if you do get sick. Have you ever noticed that you tend to catch colds when you're run down and tired? That's your weakened immune system talking. Over the long term, chronic sleep deprivation can lead to low-grade systemic inflammation, which is a contributing factor to many serious health conditions, including heart disease and autoimmune disorders. Think of sleep as your immune system's nightly training session. Skipping it leaves your defenses unprepared for battle. Now let's talk about mood and mental health. This is where the effects of sleep loss can be especially insidious. We've all been a bit grumpy after a bad night's sleep, but it goes much deeper than that. The amygdala, your brain's emotional rapid response center, becomes hyperactive when you're sleep deprived. This means you're more likely to react intensely to negative situations. A small frustration can feel like a major crisis. Meanwhile, the connection between your amygdala and your prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part of your brain, weakens. This makes it harder to control your emotional responses. You become more prone to anxiety, mood swings, and feelings of hopelessness. The relationship between sleep and mental health is a two-way street. Poor sleep can be a symptom of conditions like depression and anxiety, but it can also be a cause. Improving sleep is often a critical component of mental health treatment. If you're struggling, please know that help is available. Talking to a therapist or a doctor can make a world of difference. Your mental well-being is just as important as your physical health. So we've painted a pretty dark picture of what happens when we don't sleep. But the good news is that we have the power to fight back against this creeping darkness. It starts with creating a healthy sleep routine, often called sleep hygiene. The number one rule is consistency. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm. Your body loves predictability. When it knows when to expect sleep, it can prepare itself, making it easier to fall asleep and wake up feeling refreshed. It might be tough at first, especially if your schedule is all over the place, but even small steps toward a more consistent routine can have a big impact. Don't aim for perfection overnight. Just aim for progress. Next, let's turn your bedroom into a sanctuary for sleep. Your environment plays a huge role in your ability to rest. First, make it dark. Really dark. Light is a powerful signal to your brain that it's time to be awake. Use blackout curtains, an eye mask, or cover any glowing electronics. Even a tiny bit of light can disrupt your sleep cycle. Second, keep it cool. The ideal temperature for sleep is generally between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. Your body temperature naturally drops as you prepare for sleep, and a cool room helps facilitate this process. Third, make it quiet. If you live in a noisy area, consider using earplugs or a white noise machine. These can help mask disruptive sounds and create a peaceful, consistent audio environment that lulls you to sleep. Your bedroom should be a place reserved for sleep and intimacy, not for work or stress. What you do in the hours leading up to bedtime is also incredibly important. We need a wind-down routine to signal to our body and mind that the day is over. A big part of this is disconnecting from screens. The blue light emitted from phones, tablets, and computers suppresses the production of melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep. Try to put away all screens at least an hour before bed. Instead of scrolling, try reading a physical book, listening to calming music, or taking a warm bath. A warm bath can be particularly effective because the subsequent drop in your body temperature after you get out mimics the natural drop that occurs before sleep. You could also try some gentle stretching, meditation, or deep breathing exercises. These activities help to calm your nervous system and quiet the mental chatter that often keeps us awake. Find a relaxing ritual that works for you and make it a non-negotiable part of your evening. Let's also consider what we're putting into our bodies. Be mindful of caffeine and alcohol, especially in the afternoon and evening. Caffeine has a long half-life, meaning it can stay in your system for many hours, interfering with your ability to fall asleep. Even if you think you can sleep after an evening coffee, it often reduces the quality of your deep sleep. Alcohol might make you feel drowsy initially, but it disrupts your sleep later in the night. As your body metabolizes it, it can lead to more frequent awakenings and prevent you from reaching the deeper, more restorative stages of sleep. So while a nightcap might seem like a good idea, it's often counterproductive. A light, healthy snack before bed is fine if you're hungry, but avoid large, heavy meals close to bedtime, as they can cause discomfort and indigestion that interfere with sleep. Finally, what do you do when you're lying in bed unable to sleep? The worst thing you can do is lie there stressing about it. This creates a negative association between your bed and a state of anxiety. The rule of thumb is the 20-minute rule. If you've been in bed for about 20 minutes and you're not feeling sleepy, get up. Go to another dimly lit room and do something calm and relaxing, like reading or listening to quiet music. Avoid turning on bright lights or looking at your phone. When you start to feel drowsy again, go back to bed. The goal is to retrain your brain to associate your bed only with sleepiness and rest, not with frustration and wakefulness. Remember, one bad night is not the end of the world. Don't let the anxiety about not sleeping be the very thing that keeps you awake. Be patient and gentle with yourself. In conclusion, sleep is not a passive state of inactivity. It is an active, vital process that is fundamental to every aspect of our health. It cleans our brains, balances our hormones, strengthens our immune systems, and stabilizes our moods. Ignoring our need for sleep is like trying to run a marathon on an empty tank. So, let's make a commitment to reclaim our nights. Let's create sanctuaries for rest, establish calming routines, and treat sleep with the respect it deserves. By pushing back against the creeping darkness of sleep deprivation, we can wake up each day feeling more energized, more resilient, and more ready to live our lives to the fullest. Thank you for joining this lecture. I hope you found this information helpful. Please feel free to subscribe for more content on health and well-being. Sleep well, everyone.